fedile mo airport. You know, the picnic of 100 rands that is an ending in this airport is over. We've got to protect this airport as a national asset, and to an extent that it has got an impact in inland to the security of our people, it is not only a concern, it means we must step up our game in terms of maintaining law and order. Now I will invite my colleagues to add whatever they want to say and so on about Vuani and so on.
And they can have a photo of the two of us. No, thank you very much to Comrade Minister Mbalula, to the Executive Mayor, Comrade Mzwandile, to the MEC, Comrade Sizagele, to the MMCs that are here, the leadership of SARS, Comrade Tom. I think Comrade Mbalula has covered us. Safe to say that we have agreed in our meeting that the security architecture for the country in terms of its DNA is actually going to change when it comes to the ports of entry. Not only the port of entry, which is the OR Tambo International Airport, but you know that there are ports of entry that are very key. You look at your King Shaka, your Cape Town, the Bait Bridge, the one also Lubombo in Mpumalanga and so forth and others, so that at least our security architecture starts to speak to say the points of entry from a security strategy, they are part and parcel of safeguarding our territorial integrity. We can't take chances when it comes to the territory called South Africa. And we have a duty to pull our issues together. We have also agreed that in the main, in the plan that the team has to be able to improve, the movement of people is going to be the biggest, because remember the ports of entry, there is a movement of people, movement of goods, and most of the misdemeanors, whether is it smuggling of goods, smuggling of humans and other issues, they are happening in these ports of entry. And it robs the country an opportunity to have a revenue that can actually come back into our fiscus. But we have to start to invest in terms of the physical infrastructure and security. You can't have a situation when we are at the heart of the airport. It's only the first time in terms of physical infrastructure. You started to actually be experiencing any kind of searches and so forth. And those of you who work in the media houses, you should be able to assist us to educate and create awareness that if these measures are being implemented, we are not trying to be difficult. Our security is more important, so that the rights and freedoms we want to enjoy, they are actually taken care of. Well, we have also agreed, like Comrade Mbalula says, we have to know who's here. And people who are working in this infrastructure in the ports of entry, someone must guard the guidance. In other words, we must also be able to understand that someone is always watching and someone must always be listening, so that you can actually deal with the question of integrity. If people have integrity, they should not actually be worried that someone is watching them. Because if people are going to be part of those that believe that their deployment here or assignment in the ports of entry is an opportunity to rob our country of an economic opportunity, but then actually be involved in crime. One of the issues that we also think that the team should work quickly on, remember there is a deployment in the ports of entry, especially this one. There is a police station that is here, but it's very useless that if the police station is here, you don't have an integrated criminal justice system that immediately people are arrested here, there's a proper prosecution, it's expeditious, other people are leaving. You don't want to be keeping them in our correctional facilities. Therefore, our experience of 2010 of speedy prosecution is going to be very important. But you can't actually have people, as we have said here, the coordination and collaboration between local government led by the executive mayor here, the province that is represented by the MEC and national government. It must be very seamless, because we are agreeing that the authority, in terms of this point, we are not going to outsource it. Remember our decision. The police are going to coordinate all of us. In other words, the question of command and control, there can't be confusion. There can't be confusion. This is a national key point. And we have said that the South African police services, we are going to actually secure these things ourselves. And then other bodies that are there, in the form of the National Joint Intelligence Operation Committee, which is net joint. So that's the style we're going to use, so that you don't have problems. We will know that when the plans are being implemented, there will be some disturbances, but we will actually smoothen the process, improve its efficiency, so that whoever comes in South Africa, you can be able to know that South Africa is a safe destination. Or even if you exit our point of entry, we have a duty as a state to ensure that you exit, you go back to your destination, and you have completed your business. Therefore, I agree that there is going to be shake-up in terms of the deployment of the people that are there. We've agreed that people can't just be in one position for too long, because it does promote the issues of possibility of corruption, and it has happened. And including the entities, Comrade Minister, everybody who does business here, you can't just have access without the state controlling it, without actually ensuring that everybody that comes here, whether is it taxis, whether it's the porters, everybody, we must be able to know who's this person until people, they actually even arrive safely in their destination, whether it's hotels in our country, whether they go to their own homes. That's actually the main thrust, to say, we are taking leadership as directed by the President, that we must be able to keep this country safe. And the first important aspect are the ports of entry, before we start to have the challenges of chasing criminals inside our country. If we do and tighten our work here, there will be need of less resources to be deployed in inland in dealing with those issues. Those are the things that, Comrade Minister, I thought we should be able to add.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. What we just want to say, to add from Minister Mbalula and Minister Mahlobo, is that it will require the passengers who will be traveling, especially, to save more time, because if you tighten security, it means that as people are entering the airport, they will be searched. As people are leaving the airport, they will be searched. So you will require some additional time to make sure that you comply with those issues. On our part as a municipality, we are going to double the number of metro police that are going to be active in the precinct as part of our efforts to support national government in this national key point. This is long overdue, and we think that all our energies must be directed in ensuring that the airport is one of the safest places in the area. So we are quite happy about the discussions and the decisions that have been taken by national, provincial and local government officials in the safety area, that we are also going to be making our own contribution as a municipality. So I think that's the critical issue that we want to add. As you know, that the airport in our space is a national asset located in our municipality. This is where we are going to be implementing the Erythropolis master plan. We are calling upon business to invest in the area, so safety is very, very important. That is why we are going to ensure that to enhance the safety measures that are being put in place by Minister Mbalula and Minister Mahlobo as part of our contribution as a city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ministers, as well as the Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take the first round of hands on this. Put into yourself now. And then it will be number 2, number 3, Sis Griselda, number 4, and John will be number 5. No.
Good afternoon, Minister. Neil coming from the Times Live. I just wanted to, earlier on you alluded that you were bringing specialized units to the airport. Are you not concerned at the justice cluster as well as other government departments where there's been huge vacancies, such as the office of the NPP, the Hawks, as well as the NPA? My second question is, are you satisfied with the progress in terms of prosecution and bringing those who are alleged to be involved with the crime? Are you happy with the progress in terms of the cases?
Well, first, I think there's a whole lot of people who are supposed to be arrested and they are not yet arrested. At the present moment, with regard to the airport heist, the airport cargo, which was not 200 million, was 20 million. 7 up to this far has been arrested. So there's a whole lot of other guys which we are chasing and that we are going to arrest very soon to complete the total picture of what happened on that day. So we believe that we can preempt anything before it happens, rather than to respond and to react to what has happened. When I talk about specialized units, I mean that all our forces are on guard because we need a tactical response. The airport security company has also reacted to that. They've upped their security in terms of tactical response. We need all our forces to be on board in relation to tactical response at the level of the airport, because the criminals who are coming here at the airport are heavily armed and dangerous. So we can't respond to them with broomsticks. We must be on guard. And we have realized that most of the time they manage to escape, run away when the reports have actually come in. So that's why we unleash our tactical response. We will give them what they come with. If they come with broomsticks, they'll meet broomsticks with a shotgun. If they come with AK-47, we'll outgun them with what they come for, and we'll give them the task force. And they will resolve the rest with the burial society, because they are coming and terrorizing our people and killing innocent security guards here at the airport. So they must be ready, and we are ready to maintain law and order here at the airport. So in our profiling of all the criminals who have come here, who some have actually been arrested, they are very, very dangerous people. And all the time, like we said, that they come here heavily armed and it's an inside job. They work with the police, corrupt police officers. They work with corrupt security guards. They work with corrupt AXA employees in this airport. They work with corrupt customs people here in this airport. So all those elements who are rotten to the core, they will be policed, they will be monitored, and they will be kept on check. And the law will take its course in relation to their activities here at the airport. And our plan is that there will be changes. There will be redeployment, there will be reinforcement on the ground in terms of our police, in terms of reshuffling all the people that need to be reshuffled, who are basically responsible for security of this place.
I think there's a question that you answered, Minister, with regards to beefing up security at the justice departments and institutions, like such as the NPA Chief Justice, Hawks, etc.
Okay.
No, I think we've responded to that in the earlier statement. Remember the challenges we're facing here is to say, when you apprehend these people, how do you expeditiously ensure that they are brought to book? Remember, some of the people that are actually committing these crimes are nationals and others are non-nationals. That's why we say that in terms of beefing up of the institutional capacity, we'll actually conclude, like our officials are meeting now, to say, how do you use the model of specialized courts? You have a police station that is here now. You have your other departments, you have your customs, you have SARS, you have intelligence and so forth. How do you ensure that at least there is a limited dedicated capacity in the post of entry? That whether you put magistrate, you put what, and the intelligence, and then the ready-made documents are able to proceed. That's why I was saying that these are the things that from an institutional management, increasing capacity, that will entail doing that. We are not satisfied that the capacity at which we've been able to actually have successful prosecution, it does not actually send confidence even to those that are aggrieved. And remember that if you don't build that capacity, other people need to be able to go back to their various various destinations, other parts of the world. And some of the crimes that will have been committed here, they might actually be classified as Schedule 1 crimes, which is very petty crimes. Will you actually be able to come back here and testify? When you are actually going to spend a lot of thousands of rand just to come back to South Africa to testify, air tickets, accommodation, and inconvenience. We are actually saying we actually have examples in the past where you can deal with issues of inconvenience, speedy prosecution, the same way you dealt with the 2010. And then very soon when the teams have actually concluded the detailed plan, we should be able to take the nation into confidence that the dedicated capacity is here or not.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Good afternoon, Minister Antony from Pretoria FM. You spoke about police officers at the airport openly taking bribes and being corrupt. You just alluded to it now again about corrupt police officials and corrupt access officials working here at the airport, and you said that you will keep an eye on them and keep them in check. But don't you think if you have these allegations of police officers being openly corrupt and taking bribes, that you should start taking actions against them and start arresting these people who are actually committing these crimes at the airport? It's nice to say that we keep them in check, but these are serious crimes, and people go to court for these crimes, they go to prison for these crimes. And my second question is about the concerning break-ins at this morning again at the offices of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Pretoria. I'm not sure if you are aware of that, and maybe the State Security Minister can comment on that as well. Last week we saw the burglary at the HQ of the Hawks. I would just like to get your comment. What are you doing about these high-profile break-ins at institutions like the Hawks and the prosecuting authority? Thank you.
Thanks, Anton. I think just to start with your last question, it's quite clear that we need to do what we're supposed to do. Crime intelligence must do its job in relation to the break-ins, gather information, and we'll be able to follow all leads and arrest the people that we need to arrest. There's been not only break-ins, but arson, burning of offices. But the pattern, if you check, they burn financial offices and what you call supply chain. So corrupt individuals in these offices who want to kill their whereabouts and the clues that have been followed by the law against them, they burn offices and the material as a way of destroying evidence. So it has got nothing to do with politics whatsoever. It has got everything to do with greed and corruption. And we are following them wherever those have actually taken place. Even at the Hawks, the people didn't steal the files of, dockets and all of that. They stole stuff that belongs to HR and finance. So it's an inside job, no doubt about it. All leads have been followed. And very soon, like I said, arrests will be made based on the information that we've got. We're following all leads, and those who are responsible will be brought to book. Secondly, when I talk about the airport, I mean that people taking bribes here, yes, they must be arrested. I'm the first to admit that there's been a security lapse here, and that there's been a problem of command and control in relation to the airport. Where the people are taking bribes openly, we can see them on CCTV cameras and ourselves. I mean, the police have not acted. Where criminality has taken place, quite clearly, there's been a collusion with the police at the heart of it. Whereas not everything else is supposed to be done by the police, but we can't abandon our responsibility as the police of protecting the national key point. It starts and ends with us. All others can follow, but it is our job to guard this place and to ensure that our citizens are actually protected. If we fail or we've got failures in our operations, it shouldn't be police have been lax. Police are doing nothing. I mean, I said this in Parliament one time when I went there in Parliament to the Portfolio Committee. When I came here at this airport, I said that there is a problem here. I said that. And I had identified that problem long time ago, that our agencies are not pulling it together. And we are not only reading a riot act, is that you either do your job or ship out. We can't fail our citizens to the point where in which, in areas where, like the key point in the airport, our people are not protected. And we can't intellectualize and philosophize about it. The honest truth is that our police have not been doing their job. That is true. And it doesn't need the rocket scientists to analyze that. They steal, they collude. We can't have that. If you deploy 100 police officers or whatever number here at this airport, it's a good number of people who can do their job if they have to do their job honestly. They can do their job. We've got a police station here. What do the police officers do in and around the airport? Their deployment, crime intelligence. All of those things must be combined efforts in relation to our work. And that is what we're correcting. And I'm telling you here that I can't tell you here and defend and say that no, police have been doing their job. Some of the crimes that have happened here in this airport, we could have prevented them. We could have prevented them. Criminals, yes, they are sophisticated. They work with greedy people here in this airport. They collude. They get tip ops. When is the cargo coming and all of that? But that cargo was supposed to be protected by the police. And the police were nowhere on that day. And the person who dispatched the cargo without police protection. When in law and operations, he was supposed to do that. You see, that is collusion. He did that deliberately so that his friends with marked police cars, fake police cars and uniform can come inside and do that horrendous thing that they did. Now, next time it's not going to be cash. They're going to kill people here. And it's going to be bad for our country. So we can't allow that. So when police unions protect cops who are resisting to be redeployed, we are asking them that let them understand national security and allow us to do our job appropriately. Obviously, a cop or a commander who was on duty on that day doesn't deserve to be on our payroll, among others, when they looted that money. And those who basically killed people right outside the airport. We need to be having the capacity. People can kill each other up until the doorstep of the airport. Where are we? Where is our patrol? Yes, certain things can happen, but it should be quick to apprehend a criminal around the airport because the running space is too close. You can't run away and then we can't catch you. This is not like you are in Soweto, you can jump fence and hide behind the toilet and all of that. No, it's an open area but too close. And all the strategic areas must be under our radar. If you commit crime inside the airport, we should, in less than 5 minutes, we should be able to apprehend you if we're doing our job. I'm not saying that I'm blaming cops for all the things, but we've got deployment. We at least have got police that we have deployed here. So how do we use them? How do we use the police here? You see, so you must understand that first and foremost, we have not been doing that job properly in and around the airport. There are people who are loitering here, who are going up and down, loitering in numbers. In this airport, there used to be the time you can't park for more than 5 minutes. A police officer, JMPD or EMPD, will be there to give you a ticket. That time it was, or if ever you don't show up, we pounce on your car. We take it away. We can't have people who come to the airport, they don't account to anybody. They come here, they steal, they terrorize people. These people who are doing this job, I can tell you now, they are masquerading as taxi owners, taxi drivers outside there. I'm a taxi. Even those taxis are illegal, some of them, to be here. And AXA must give us those people who are illegal, who are not supposed to be here. We don't arrest them. We take them away. They must never enter this airport. Never. And that is what we must do. There are basics that we need to do. That don't need you to go to a police college to understand that. Even yourselves, you can give me a good security lecture about what must happen at the airport. Now, how it surpasses us as the police, law enforcement, it's an indictment. And that is why we are here, to address that matter, to say that it cannot be business as usual. people must change. There must be a plan. There must be a plan in the long term. It is not just saying this must happen, it's not sustainable. No. By next week, Friday, we will be back here. All the agencies, including Home Affairs, SARS, JMPD, all of that, we will be back here to grind the plan, and that plan will have been worked on by all our key components to give it to us. We're not working on some Christmas party here. We're working on a sustainable program of what must happen in and around the airport. Whether the mayor is there or the minister is there, I'm there, or police generals are there, there must be a master plan. Like you can go and dream and go to America or go to London. You know that the security arrangement there is consistent. I'm going to be searched. I must just wear flip-flops because it's clear. I'm going to be searched when I get to that airport. This is, even though they do it for other reasons, you know, and so on. But you are going to be searched. Yeah, in this airport, you work straight, especially if it's in the morning, straight from your plane, right through to where you are going. There's nobody there at the customs. It's either there is one person sleeping and then the rest are not there. They pass, there's no police, there are no officials. Aeroplanes are operating 24, they don't operate 24/7. But you know that at least from 5 a.m., people start to trickle in. So you can't have a security arrangement at the airport where people do as they wish. You leave this country, you know that if I go to South Africa, I must be there by 6 a.m. They will be still asleep. So I'm just going to walk through the gates. My friend is there. We've got connections. We'll do as we... So, facilitate. Yeah, facilitate. So as much as people can still break the law and do criminality, but there must be something in the system that finds them. If you have passed everybody, they managed to pass those corrupt people at the customs. Not all of them, but some who are corrupt and pass through. At least the police must find you at the end. Who are you? What are the goods that you've got? SARS must find you. Can we see? Declare. There's no declaration, there's drugs. We find them there. So we're upping our security arrangement, and I can tell you now that that was not in place. We just have a police station here, and you see police going up and down, but there is no command and control. We can change police officers, but there must be discipline of order. That here, you know, you are in charge. It's like running a school without a disciplined principal. He's drinking with kids, he's proposing them, they are his girlfriends and all of that. There's no order there. That school will fail right through. It will never pass. Those kids will never pass. They are going to fail every day, and then you pointed the problem to SysNG. No, the problem, what is this? SysNG is not doing this, and the problem is the principal. He's dancing with kids, he's drinking with them. To him, they are his friends. Hey, Joe, don't sell a cigarette up, Antoine. It can't be. Even here, there is no law and order here in this place. There is a brigadier or whoever who's in charge. There's no law and order here, you can tell. Amapolisa ayazenzela nguvula azibhuqe. Kuyaqhutywa nje heli guy mkhotsi yari emuna hey rebe rithewela ko airport baya munati they get, there's a gangster operating here, you know, terrorizing our people, and they wouldn't want to leave because airport, that's where they make money. You are guaranteed that if kuthiwa namhlanje uphashekile uhamba nge-100 rand, but on a normal day asibulele mfana 1,000 rand. Yeah, at the airport. 1,000 rand to sell a soul of somebody who's going to be killed. Your brother, your sister, compromising the country. We can't have such people at the airport. We can't. And we need strong leadership. That is why we said Major General. And that Major General will also be checked and will also be followed up. He must have his people properly trained and deployed, yeah, and so on, so that there is law and order. So I'm not going to say to you, Anton, that it has been easy. Everything has been smooth sailing. Police have been doing their job. No, it's not true. The little that we've got, if we unleash it, we can bring crime to control in this area. Even the little that we've got is not being used maximum, to the maximum point. It's not. People just come here, it's just normal report back, and then you sign 5 o'clock, you go on, the other shift comes in, and then that is it. No, it can't be. We can't deploy. It means people who are deployed at the airport, all cops must have a special training. If you go to Lanzeria, those cops are trained there. They are very disciplined. They are in order. They know the laws, what they must do at the airport, which area they must protect, and all of that. It must be people with specialized training who are working here at the airport. It must not be a dumping ground of failed police officers in police stations. And then you look at, where do I take them? Take them to OR Tambo Airport. That is the biggest risk we cannot afford. Yeah. Next.
Mr. Mbalula, my name is Gianni Pilates from Eyewitness News. I just wanted to find out a little bit more about the attempted robbery here at the airport this morning, if you give us some more details. And about the follow homes. We've heard about at least 3 incidents just yesterday of people being followed home from the airport and crimes then taking place either at their home or on the highways. Do you have any statistics of how often this is actually happening? And obviously they are being spotted from here, so the crime starts here but doesn't end here. It carries on outside the airport.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I can't give you statistically how many, but there's been. And Sisbongi there can account for the better part of your question.
As it relates to the Follow Me Home robberies, we are staying very close to all divisions of the police, and crime intelligence unit of the police tells us that the modus operandi is such that the spotters are actually not only based at this airport. The information is released from the countries of origin. The targeted passengers, from what we understand, they come in the main from Congo, from Nigeria, and a few from Malawi, and some from Dubai. So the information comes from those countries, and it would appear that persons based at the airport are then given this information to look out for these passengers, and then they are actually followed. Another way that this is being done, it would appear that there are people who change, into large, they change forex in open areas, wherein they exchange their currencies and get large sums of money. So the spotters based at the airport were led to believe that they then observe them and then they follow them through up until the point wherein they find that the victims are vulnerable. So as the minister said, at this point in time, we do not have the stats as yet, at least accurately, given the fact that not everybody does report these incidents. It's a matter of concern for us as an airport, and I think as an airport, we obviously appreciate the fact that senior leadership on the policing side and on the intelligence gathering side, which is the SSA, have responded to our desperate call for them to now be involved. Hence this media briefing today, and hence the work that will take place between today and next week Friday, wherein we'll now assess that plan jointly.
Sorry, Minister, but just a follow-up about the robbery that happened this morning.
Yes, it's moving.
The robbery that occurred this morning, the minister was unfortunately arriving at that time, so we did not quite have the time to properly brief him. But our understanding is that there was a truck that was carrying high-value goods that was leaving an area wherein all of our high-value goods are kept, such as commodities, such as currencies. And this truck was then hijacked outside of the airport, outside of a gate that we referred to as Super South. And we were fortunate in that all units responded, including those that are appointed by the airport, including the police, including Mayor Masina's team, the EMPD. They responded to it. And the truck was then abandoned. And the persons themselves, in fact, were initially taken hostage, but they've since been, found, and they are currently being interviewed. The suspects, unfortunately, none of them at this stage have been caught. So the value of the goods and what the goods were that were in the truck, we're not aware, other than the fact that it was valuable, high valuable cargo.
Okay, Ms. Chriselle.
Good afternoon. I'm Chriselle Lewis from SABC Television News. All protocol observed. Minister, it would be all good and well to beef up security at Tambo International Airport and ensure that personnel are moved from one area to the other, those who've been working in areas for too long and trying to curb corruption and the rampant crime we're seeing at this national key point. But very much linked to what Gia Nicolaidi said, the modus operandi seems to be criminals targeting people at Tambo International Airport and going as far as following them to their homes. So it's not just an issue at Tambo International Airport, it's now extending to an issue regarding community safety, and perhaps the Community Safety MEC can also chip in on that. What then needs to be done? Because while you try to close this hole, you leave another hole unattended to. The second issue is on the break-in at the offices of the NDPP. What do you say to South Africans? There seems to be such a brazen criminality in South Africa where there's no respect for the officers of the Hawks, of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Chief Justice's officers. Criminals are simply, I'm sorry to use the phrase, showing the middle finger to the South African Police Service. What do you say to ordinary South Africans who are saying, if you can simply go and break into institutions that one would deem criminals should be scared of, then what about you and I? Who am I?
Yeah, no, Mahlobo and the MEC will add. Let me just say that criminals who undertake these operations of breaking into offices are not criminals from outside. They are people who are working inside those offices. Like the offices of state security, at some point money was stolen. It was an inside job. The offices that are burned down, it's an inside job. It's not people, it's not criminals who have taken their time to go there and burn down offices. It's people who are working in the system. For one reason or the other, either it is corruption or otherwise they want to destroy evidence for whatever reason, they destroy offices. And in that particular instance, our investigations must be thorough. We're not going to talk about other security elements in relation to how we protect ourselves and so on, which measures have been taken in that regard. But that is important. Chriselle, that the crime that is happening at the airport fits into the community in the sense that the spotters that are based here are basically communicating with somebody in the highway. To say that Mbalula has arrived, is wearing a yellow suit like Penny, so he's coming downtown with this car and he should be having lots of money. I've seen him, he have exchanged money right there at the airport, right? And then they report to them, and those then will either follow you up or they will actually, curtail your movement along the way, going home or going downtown to the hotel and rob you. So that's what they basically do. So why we are here, it means crime intelligence. It means state security, but crime intelligence, most importantly, must be able to basically preempt that before it happens. But equally, we must clean out the spotters, because once we clean this place of the spotters, there's nobody who's going to follow you home because they don't know what you have in terms of your luggage and all of that. So we've got a joint operation. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Minister Mahlobo spoke about it. Net joints. That includes everybody. Not interacting with each other monthly, bi-monthly, every day in relation to all those agencies that are deployed at the airport, right? and then to be able to clean out these people and deal, because crimes at the airport vary. Most of the crimes is heist, but also is about narcotics, drugs. We need to up our tempo, our game in relation to detecting drug mules, and at the same time to be able to search around the airport those people who are transporting drugs here. And then the other element of criminality here is heist, where people actually hijack valuables, like it has been explained this morning. Criminals are not coming to the airport to do anything, but they come here through a tip-off that there is 20 million that comes from this and is destined, and there is 500,000 that is going to be banked this afternoon. And then they talk to each other in relation to the plan. So criminals themselves are working on tip-off and intelligence. They are not just working. They work on tip-off and intelligence. So we need to up our game in relation to that. Not only from extra deployment, but you can deploy 1,000 people, but if you don't have a plan, those people will just loom around here and ungadlalele airport nje ubanjwa manje uvalelwe manje. That's what we are working on, and that is what we need to unleash here at the airport, because somebody could be arrested here, or somebody will want to give evidence, go away to Nigeria, go to wherever. They'll never come back to testify, and the case will be postponed all the time and all of that. So we need to work on those mechanisms. Our multi-pronged approach in relation to this place must find expression, or is guiding us in terms of what needs to be done. We can't have one aspect working against each other or in parallel. We can't. We've got to work now together, right? We should be able to point out the operations, to be able to say in the war room, today this is what happened. And we've got a problem. We should be able to talk to AXA that there are people who are working here at the airport as taxi drivers, but they don't have permit to work here. And how are we going to identify them? There are many. We can go out now here. A person who's showing you taxi, he doesn't have a license to operate here. They must produce that, and they are going to produce that, Mayor, isn't it, as of today. And we are going to chase them throughout all seasons. So that the people who come here, they come for business. And those who do not come here for business, either traveling on all of that, who are not supposed to be here, we actually take them, we ensure that they are not supposed to be here indeed. So that only can work if we work in joints. But if we work separate, in silos, and so on, and today we are on, tomorrow we are off. That's what is going to happen in this airport. So if we're to go now to the United States of America, because that's the only place you like, America, right? We must compare ourselves with other south-to-south countries, developing nations. But for purposes of our quick understanding, the place we know, we see all the time on movies is America. If we were to board a flight now and go to America today, security setup is the same. It doesn't change. Even if you can go next week, security setup doesn't change. Here in this airport, you arrive today from Nigeria, early hours of the morning, security is tight. Tomorrow you come in, there's only one person who looks bored at the customs and very impatient with you. Hi. You greeting her or him, he doesn't even say thank you or hello. Hey baba. Yes. Ipi passport yako. Uti hello uti. Ipi passport. You see, you can't have that. The setup, when you arrive, you go any other country, you are Minister of Police, you are made to wait the yes, sir, 15 minutes. Can you step aside, sir? They check you. Uzofuna hanila. All agencies. Not here. You arrive in less than 5 minutes, you are in. In. Nobody check. Ingati lento yo check passport lapana bayasikhohliswa nje. Uyabona actually akucheckwa kwa passport lapha. So that's what happens. Security standards must be the same all the time. When you go to that airport, you know there no, you're not going to do as you wish. Like it happens here at OR Tambo. You arrive, today's security arrangement have changed, tomorrow they've lapsed. Today they want your shoes off, tomorrow they don't want them off. We know we're a democratic state. You come to South Africa, is a peaceful country. We don't have to undress you in terms of shoes and your jacket and all of that. Yes, but we will not allow you to do crime, right? We will not allow you to do crime, so we must put our foot down. We're a democratic country, we're a peaceful country. That's why people love our country. Criminals are messing it up. They are coming here because they are enjoying. We create jobs, you know, for people, tourism and all of that. Now these criminals are messing it up, so we've got to clamp down on them because that undermines national security.
No, thanks. I think, Crisalda, on the question of the break-in, I think Minister Mbalula has given you the analysis. We must not lose certain points and start to react. What is the problem are we dealing with? The analysis says that for any of these kind of criminal acts to happen, there will be deficiencies, and normally it's an inside job. One of the things that we're insisting, because the more they happen in the institution, you know it happened in state security, it happened in defense, it happened in the police, it happened in the justice, in the office of the Chief Justice and so forth. What are we dealing with? You can do certain things. One of the things is to deal with the integrity of those people who work in those offices. Very important. Who are these people who are working in these offices? Remember, these are the offices that actually give credibility to the authority of the state. You undermine them, you go in there, you steal an important information, but ultimately, the confidence people will have in our own criminal justice system, that we can't even secure our own infrastructure, our own information, is a very serious indictment. One of the issues that we should not be able to negotiate, especially the accounting officers and the executing authorities, is that no one must work in these critical institutions without being properly vetted. And the reality sometimes, there are those in the media space, when we say people are working in key areas, they must be vetted. You start to think people are being abused in terms of their human rights. If you choose to work in a particular space, security of information, security of asset is very important. And normally people actually run around and jump. They actually run away. You say, come for vetting, come for polygraphy, they run away. In the system that we have, we cannot actually have in the criminal justice system becoming haven of actually people who are colluders, people who are corrupt, people that actually get you to be bought, like they're in the stock exchange. This is where the problem is. But the other problem is that normally the other one is the issue around the infrastructure that is there. Is our security architecture in those particular institutions okay or not? And in the main, you will know, for an example, is how the system works. Sometimes you can actually have someone on camera. And we need to discuss where is the hindrance in law, because sometimes the admissibility of certain people that you actually can see, this is so and so. And our criminal justice system says, no, but if you cannot be 100% sure and how this person is going to be pointed. Remember, we're living in a space of technology. We're going through a lot of footage of some of the mishappenings happening here. You could see that this person is so and so. You go to the courts, the evidence is thrown out. What do? I see that this is a person who has actually stolen. But someone must actually do the funny thing in law. It's an identification parade of some sort. These are the weaknesses when we say overhaul the system. Then there's a last element, which is about, most of the things in South Africa, unlike other countries, the whole country, because people are straight, the whole country, you find that is actually under surveillance.
It's a dangerous country where all people are straight.
Not Comrade Mbalula, the other way around. I mean straight in English. You can put surveillance cameras. You can actually even see other entities to say, don't put them. You will be able to find them. The question around the modus operandi, I think is also sufficient. But what we need to understand is that this kind of crimes have become so complex and they've become so sophisticated. They are not only planned domestically, but they are also planned internationally. And remember our relations, how we actually interact. Before a plane moves from another country here, we always share information. But what happens when it comes to our shores? That's why the executive mayor here, working with AXA and all of us, why will you actually have, for an example, the porters? You don't know who are they. They are very friendly. They are assisting. Immediately they go even into a hotel room, especially around the hotels here at the airport. We are having the totters that are around here. We are having the taxi operators that are around here. They have not actually, as entities and as individuals, vetted, so that you can have a situation that if anything happens, those particular entities, they take responsibility. And most of the crimes that you happen to experience and report, why in most of the instances we have never had that the taxi driver or the Uber driver, one, the car has been stolen when people are being followed home or they are followed to various hotels. Why are we not getting that? Why are we actually not getting that they've actually been robbed themselves or they've been shot at? Not that we're actually praying that they should be shot, but we're just demonstrating how the network is. And the network must be broken. They must be broken. The network, as we're saying, it moved from people who are actually the first person that actually received people or the person that received the cargo. This is where the problem starts. And one of the things we've said here, whether is it companies, whether is it individuals, all of us, we must know who are they, vet them. And if they are not actually wanting to be vetting, we must fire them. Why do you keep them here? There are actually people here, we've been running an operation to do vetting over the last year. And people are actually running away to be vetted. But employers are still keeping them in the employ. And you can't have a vetting certificate that is not actually reviewed probably once a year or after 2 years. We have a 5-year certificate or 10-year when actually people are doing certain things. But as we're saying with the minister and the other colleagues here, everybody who works at the airport, those who guard the airport, we are going to put guidance behind them. We have no alternative. If you want to work here, not that we are trying to intrude, but it actually needs extraordinary measures. If the facilitation is done by inside people within the precinct, what do? You create extra measures so that you can be able to deal with. But actually, we can only feel the difference if we can send a signal that those that are in the wrong, we send them to jail for a longer period. That's why our idea to build on our experiences that have worked, faster prosecution, expeditious one, send a very important signal. Whether you're from somewhere else, even if you're not a South African, you're a visitor here, crime is crime and it can't be committed in our shores.
You're fine? Oh, you're covered. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, we're not discussing policy conference here, Chief. Thank you.
You're fine. Okay, you're fine.
I just got one more question about the police and the police criminals. If you're saying that there are police that are criminals, why are you not involving IPAC? Or are they also involved?
No, I mean the police who are criminals must be apprehended. And in this particular instance, where IPIT is basically needed in this particular instance, it will be involved. to deal with that. But we're taking a view that certain things, people in law might have not been found guilty. But